This is Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, July 11th, 2016. And this is in reference to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times, Cheap Money Talks. Now, yes, there's some tragedies that we've had in the United States last week. There was a lot of political stuff going on. We need to look into the murders that went on in Louisiana, in Minnesota, and in Texas. But at the same time, there's a lot going on economically. It's very important that we keep up with what's going on. And this is what's going to affect things that are coming up in the election. Need to pay very close attention to it. What has really been going on is that long-term interest rates are really, really down. They're close to zero to the United States. And by being close to zero, effectively, it's negative income when you adjust for inflation. In Europe, some of those numbers are already in the negative amount. And what is this telling us right now? Number one, that there's a lot of money out there that wants to be invested. It's not finding good returns out there, even though the stock market for us is way high. They're not finding the good returns, and they don't think in the long term that there are going to be good returns, so they're putting their money in places where they know it's going to be safe. So they don't see long term that they're going to be able to make a lot of money on their money. So they're willing to take a very small amount and even lose money because it's safer than investing it in other things that are out there. And, this excessive cash that they're not willing to gamble on, because interest rates are so low right now, provides an incredible incentive for the United States and for Europe to use this money, which they can borrow extremely cheaply, and use this for infrastructure spending, repair and renovation. So we know that, in the United States, what is the Council of Engineers run roads and bridges, highways, tunnels, etc., say that we need to invest a couple $1 trillion. Now, Hillary had put out some stuff a long time ago. She wants to invest billions of dollars. I think Bernie wanted to invest trillions of dollars. Of course, those are all based on 10-year plans. But we need to use this. But here's the thing. We need to invest anyway. We have to invest. We can't let it keep going. And then if we're just playing catch up, that just means there's going to be more stuff that's going to continue to pile up down the road, so to speak, that needs to be worked on, repaired, renovated, replaced, etc. So why not have a tremendous infrastructure spending thing that's going on? Because the rates that the United States can borrow at are so cheap right now, it would make stupid sense not to do it. But guess what? We're not doing it. We are not doing it right now at all. And that's one reason that we're not doing it. And it's because it's our friends in the GOP, are crying. They're screaming. They're advocating that we have to reduce our debt, that the deficit is so high that it's going to be paid for by your children, your grandchildren, my grandchildren, etc., as far as the eye can see. Now remember, and of course they've all been crying, especially the economics on the Republican side, that inflation is just around the corner, that interest rates are about to go sky high. And they've been wrong about this for the last 8 years, technically. And remember, Paul Ryan, who is the Speaker of the House, they're still in that austerity mode. They don't want to raise the debt at all. But remember, they all voted to raise the debt in the Bush administration a number of times. So what we have here, very low interest rates, corporations with plenty of money, they're willing to take just absolutely nothing on their money because they don't see good returns in the future, even though the stock market is going up. A tremendous opportunity for the United States and for Europe, for that matter also, to borrow that money at incredibly low interest rates and invest heavily in the United States. And of course, at the same time, we know that jobs will be created for this, whether it's, let's just say, for construction workers, new steel boots, all the steel that needs to be done in terms of bridges, all the stuff that needs to be done, the concrete, and etc., the engineering firms that would need to be involved, the art, not architectural, but all of the things, concrete trucks, all of that stuff that needs to be involved, all of the material that needs to be involved. Great opportunity for investment in the United States at this particular point in time. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because our friends on the Republican side are still in that austerity mode where we can't borrow any more at all right now because we have to pay down the debt, even though Obama has, let's just say, the debt has gone down during his administration, but they're not willing to do anything. And we know that the solution, there is an economic solution to it, but there's no political will on the Republican Party. And the will is that they want to do anything, so they're intentionally sacrificing America's future for their lust for power, let's just say. What was Obama like 2 years ago? Was that some bridge that they can't repair somewhere in John Boehner's district? They called it a political hit job by Obama. But again, this is going on all over the United States. Now, who was it? Eisenhower, made the investment in our interstate highway system. A big government spending. We had big government spending in the 60s on the NASA program. We had big government spending in the 40s on the war. And of course, it proved that, the American government can do things. We had huge investments in the 30s. But what investments have we had since the 70s on? No big thing that we've invested in. Nothing. But we need to have that whole investment to come back in. But again, corporations have thrown into the towel. A lot of big money has thrown into the towel. They're willing to take next to nothing in terms of interest rates because they don't see a lot of great investments out there. And this is the time for the United States to invest in these types of things. There is not the political will on the part of our Republican sisters and brothers to do that. It is an intentionally sacrificing America's future. And when we look at the tragedies in Dallas, in Louisiana, and in Minnesota, we can make a big attempt at some of the economic solutions to what's going on, in terms of our racial divide, is increasing the number of jobs that are out there, increasing the wages that are paid to people. It's not going to solve the problem. There needs to be more political involvement. There needs to be a lot of other stuff. But we need to make a start. And our Republican friends are doing nothing to help the American people in terms of infrastructure spending or any type of spending to make America, to move America forward.